All right, let's talk about Dr. Umar on this Ebony K. Williams stuff. Let's get back to business, right? Oh wow, 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 wow. So the Ebony K. Williams, would you date a bus driver? This issue continues, the saga continues. And I wanted to bring us up to speed with what's going on with that. Okay. Before everybody started calling the cab, can we brag? We can Yanga, right? Yanga that we called it out that she was capping big time. She had the right to her preferences. They asked her, Miss Iyanla Vanzant asked her, would you date a bus driver? She gave, in my opinion, a honest answer that she has the right to. She said, if he owns the bus, even though I think that's shooting herself on the legs too, but oh well, because the person owning one bus is not really good enough. But she had there are a lot of people that have had a lot to say about it. I think majority of the pushbacks are just a bunch of men overreacting as usual, which is given. But I think it was worth the conversation. I think it was worth the conversation. So let me share my screen really quickly. Let's see. Oh, there you go. All right, so let's go to it. There's so many people that have stuff to say about Judy too, but we'll leave that alone. Let me go here. Let me know if you can hear.
About who Ebony K. Williams is dating. Let's throw that over to the side because it's irrelevant.
That's your preference.
And
I agree.
And
right.
Who gives a fuck, right? So now let's talk about my real work in this world, the work God has called me to do, which is to always sit in a posture of elevating, advancing, and offering options to Black Americans for us to have a first-class existence. So when I talk about a permanent Black underclass, that's something that I talked about in the response video that Weezy citing.
Stop the cap.
A lot of people felt away about that. What the fuck does she mean, a permanent Black underclass? What I mean is the data. So I sent Charlemagne a bar graph from the U.S. Census yesterday, and it listed about 50.
Wait, do you remember her saying she wasn't talking to anybody, something to that effect? Get out of your feelings, all this kind of stuff. Okay. Get out of your feelings. We're just going to pretend that some people are not going to be engaged in their feelings with calling them underclass, right? Okay.
15 different global identities. So again, you got to zoom out for this. This is not about Black folks and white folks in America. This is global. At the top of that, y'all, this is earnings. Indian Americans earn more than anybody else in America. At the very bottom, Black Americans. It's like they were owning.
Yeah, of course, Black Americans, right? At the very bottom, Black Americans. So let me shame you. Let me shame you to building yourself. Shaming does not work. While shame could be a good thing, it's a product of other things, like a value system, right? But shaming to replace the value system does not work. This is another example of it. Blaming does not work. Here's an example of it. Okay? It doesn't work. What you're going to have is a bunch of crybabies overreacting to it. And rightfully so. It is what it is. That's how humans, for the most part, operate. If you tackle them where it hurts, they're going to complain about the hurt. Okay? And for you to expect otherwise is unrealistic expectations too. Yes, I do it too sometimes. It's unrealistic expectations. I might use it to provoke people into certain part of their brain, but ultimately I hope I deliver some kind of value. Because that right there is not the value. Shaming people is not the value. Okay? We can call attention with it. We can get some attention with it. That's about it. That's how good it is. So if you're not delivering value after that, you're just wasting energy and time. At best, you're getting views, maybe attention.
Earning about $100,000 per year per average. Not at this point, who gives a fuck about who Ebony K.
All right, so wait, why is he not talking?
I better not find out your ass was swimming in the milk. Charlemagne and Envy today. Very well-spoken sister. What's her name? I seen her. What's the sister's name?
This is Dr. Umar.
Ebony K. Williams. Well-spoken sister. She made some great points, but dear Ebony, That's not what
Dear
you was
Eboni.
talking, sweetheart.
That was cap,
That's not what
Eboni.
you was talking.
Stop the
You
cap.
was on some talented Tim's bullshit, and you tried to take it back to the community this morning, sister. See, we can't talk out both sides of our mouth. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth, sister. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth. I didn't disagree with much of what you said today, but that's not what you said the other day, sister. You was talking down to working class blacks. You are a bourgeoisie.
Bourgeoisie.
You are a bourgeoisie feminist, and I hope to God you wasn't engaged to a white man, because I thought somebody said you was engaged to a white man.
By the way, this guy cap a lot too.
Eboni? I saw that sister on the Breakfast Club this morning. What's her name? Erica K. Williams. What's the sister who was on there with you? If I find out your ass was swimming in the milk, I'm going to lose a lot of respect for you, sister. Because what that tells me, if you were with a damn Neanderthal snow puppy, then you're telling me, at the end of the day, you are trying to condemn black men to justify dating white.
Ooh.
If you are an interracial dater, if you are a bunny hop.
Somebody said, why should we call out that she's dating white? It doesn't matter that she's dating white. About 30 million people will tell you that it matters by their behavior, and you should pay attention to that, right? There's some depending on what position you are in, okay? If you are a certain, how do I say this? There's certain positions you are in that basically disqualifies you from saying certain things about certain people. This is the reality of life. Now, can we stop you? No, we can't stop you. Right? So, for example, you cannot be a 16-year-old single person and be having extremely strong opinions about marriage. You can, but it's basically invalid. Okay? It's invalid, right? So, there's nothing wrong with you dating a white person, right? But to completely find yourself in a position where you're rightfully, I know you want to be right, you're throwing all of black men under the bus. Yeah. While you are right with what you said.
Well, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. What you go collect? Yeah. Eboni. You know, this is part of emotional and social intelligence. Okay, let's continue.
Then what you are telling me is your whole diatribe, your whole rant against black men driving the bus was a justification so you can date a white man. I hope that ain't the case. I hope that ain't. You spoke well today, my sister.
She spoke
well. You
still
didn't deal with collective work and responsibility, though. I still heard a lot of Eurocentric individualism.
What is that?
I still heard a lot of Eurocentric individualism.
Eurocentric individualism.
And I don't know where you've been getting your reports from, sweetheart.
Oh,
but we got
what is that? Self-preservation?
I better not find out your ass.
Is that self-preservation? Eurocentric individualism. Yeah, you can't discount self-preservation too. I see that you're trying hard there. That's a community thing, right? I appreciate that. Community is everything, and the stuff we're working on is going to be a community building ourselves, by the way. But yeah, I smell cap.
Ass was swimming in the milk. If I find out your ass was swimming in the milk,
I'm
lose a lot of respect for you, sister. Because with that,
why?
If you were with a damn Neanderthal snow puppy, then you're telling.
Oh, because she's commenting disrespectfully, knowing that she's swimming in the milk, not because she's swimming in the milk, right? Because she's making comments. Okay, I see what it's saying. I mean, like, come on, I agree with him on that.
Telling me, at the end of the day, you are trying to condemn black men to justify dating white. If you are an interracial dater,
that's a reach.
If you are a bunny hopper, then what you are telling me is your whole diatribe, your whole rant against black men driving the bus was a justification so you can date a white man. I hope.
By the way, white men drive bus too, just in case you haven't seen it in your neighborhood. They do too, but yeah.
That ain't the case. I hope that ain't. You spoke well today. 1 million Africans with college degrees unemployed. We got 2 million Africans with college degrees unemployed because you was doing a whole lot of pushing college. You was doing a whole lot of pushing college today.
Well, I think we should continue to push college. It's still the standard of our society. I understand it. I also came out with a master degree and start telling everybody like it's not worth it. But honestly, it's not the job that you get from it, especially if you don't know anything else you could be doing. Okay, it's not the job that you actually get from college. There are many other advantages of going to college and coming out. The only thing I don't like is the school loans. Don't be collecting school loans if you don't have a goal. Okay.
Like it's some form of upward mobility. I'm sorry, Sister Ebony K. Williams. College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans.
What?
College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans.
That is a myopic way of thinking about college. But yeah.
It's putting us into debt to the banks, my sister.
Well, like I just said, I don't like the idea of collecting school loans. You need to explore ways to go to college for free. And there are. You just have to ask questions, okay?
Ebony K. Williams. So where is your solution for collective group economics? I didn't hear none of that. All I heard was European, Eurocentric, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, individualism. That's all the hell I heard this morning. I wish I was there. I wish I was there.
These Baba always fall on the other extreme too, and I don't like extremes in general. They have a hard time thinking about the layers. They're just thinking one way,
I wish I was at the Breakfast Club today with Ebony K. Williams. I had a few comments and questions for my sister.
Why? So you can collect a bunch of shaming too,
college degrees
like envy.
Unemployed. We got 2 million Africans with college degrees unemployed because you was doing a whole lot of pushing college. You was doing a whole lot of pushing college today, like it's some form of upward mobility. I'm sorry, Sister Ebony K. Williams. College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans.
Oh, stop the cap.
No
Stop the
disrespect.
cap.
I love my sister. I love my sister. Don't get me wrong now. She said some good things today, but she departed from the original narrative.
You're right.
She
it
was
does.
pushing on our working class Africans the other day. She departed from her attack on
Shout out to
black
Gorex
males
Corner.
with blue collar
Thank you,
jobs.
sis.
Ebony K. Williams, do you know that you got plumbers who make more money than doctors? Ebony K. Williams, do you know you got carpenters who make more money than surgeons? Ebony K. Williams, do you know you got chefs who make more money than engineers? You got plumbers who make more money than architects.
That's the exception. Plumbers that make more money than whatever is exceptions. As usual, see, extreme people always, they have the same problems, okay? Ebony and him have the same problem, okay? So if you want to keep it at the same point, like, hey, you don't want to date a black man, it is what it is. You don't want to date someone of a certain lower class. Preferences are okay, are perfectly fine with me. Especially knowing that they come with consequences too, okay? It is what it is. Excuse me, I'm drinking sugar. Stay away from drinking sugar. Right? But this Baba, no one here.
Not a single group solution. A whole bunch of feminism and European individualism disguised as collective work and responsibility. You can fool some of
feminism collect stray bullets.
You can't fool King.
Feminism don't collect stray bullets too.
Not a single group solution. A whole bunch of feminism and European individualism.
Yeah, feminism collected stray bullets right there. Jesus Christ. Voila. Anyway, Miss Iyanla addressed it too. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. She went on a show of, as she should, to address more into it. There you go. Let's find it. Here we go.
Mac cleaner.
All right, let's go into this.
Optimize your Mac. It not only
and what I hear is their expectation, demand, and reliance on another human being to make them happy and provide for their needs.
Let's go back a little bit.
Because she expects supporting, getting her energy. I didn't was not good relationship with her. And we never think about that. But I asked her that question because, again, as a woman, I was reading her energy. See, I was feeling her energy as a woman.
What did you read though?
Really, to tell the truth, and this is just my experience, it was a put down, like a bus driver with a good character and integrity.
It was a put down.
Is not good enough for her because she expects her happiness or her whatever to come from a man. And I know that now that conversation has shifted and it's become about her promoting and supporting excellence. I do that too. I support excellence among Black, but that's not what we were talking about. That is not what we were talking about. And so I was just reading her energy, and what I heard. And I've heard, I'm not.
What's going on, Mo Fresh? Good to see you.
From many women. I mean, I've been doing 50 episodes of the R Spot. I talk to women every single week. And what I hear is their expectation, demand, and reliance on another human being to make them happy and provide for their needs. And see, me, God is my source and my supply.
Cap.
God is my supply too. Okay. God is my supply too. But damn it, of course, I want a certain quality of human being to spend life with. Come on. Miss Iyanla, come on. But let's hope she still speak to that. Let's
And it's the gravy. He ain't the potatoes. And so I heard in that she wanted him to be the potatoes, the chicken, the crisp on the chicken skin, and was really kind of demanding how he had to fry the chicken.
Because just demanding. Did it come across as demeaning to you?
It did. I'm sorry. I know she says now that was not her intention. I know she says now that. And I believe if she...
Anyway, it's on our channel. You go listen to that on our channel if you want to get the whole thing. My thoughts so far is still the same. She should have stand 10 toes down on that topic. But the standard of what I want, the preference, not standard why. It's not really standard. It's preference. It's what it is, and it makes sense when you belong in certain social class. Some people actually have found that some people find it offensive to even say class at all. Like, oh, you're Lewa, you're an OYO, you're on your own. Okay, there is social class. That's the reality. Some of you watched that video I did with Dr. Obi, right, from We Need to Talk. Social class is real. It is what it is, okay? As some people make more money than others. Some people live in certain neighborhoods better than others, based on an agreed upon standard by all of us, okay? So it's hard to pretend like there's no social class. There is social class, and I don't advise people to run madly with their blindfolds on into another class entirely, or I call it the dimensions. Don't run, if you're a Christian, a staunch Christian, don't run into the world of Muslim people with your blindfolds on, because you will collect, all right? Or social class, or economic class, or whatever you want to call it, right? Completely different world, or race, or even crossing the race line. You need to be aware that that's going to create, the awareness is all I'm asking you. I'm not saying don't do it, but don't do it with your blindfolds on, because we're social and emotional beings, and it just makes sense to be aware of that, you know. Yep, I didn't read her expecting her happiness to come from a man with a bus driver coming. I didn't see that too. I think what she was saying is that she can hold her own. I think what she was saying is something that most women have a hard time putting into words properly. If a man cannot provide and protect at an emotional level, there's no way there. Okay, women will oftentimes try to explain that, and they will end up in the money side of things, and it's not really money. The woman will fall for it. If you end up in the same circle by mistake or intentionally, like there are literally people teaching women, like if you want a man of a certain class, you're gonna have to hang out where they hang out. That's just how it works. Change your circle, right? That's just the reality, right? So I don't think she was saying that, but I think when she starts her conversation with money, income class, or then it's only natural that people that don't know any better will interpret that as you're talking about money or you're a gold digger, right? It only makes sense, right? But I think what they're trying to say is, I don't expect a woman to just accept that yes, I would date a bus driver when she's a person of that class. No, that doesn't make any sense to expect that from her. However, the reality is that she might end up falling for a bus driver, a plumber. You just need to feel safe and secure enough. Feelings, you know. But Iyanla brought it up. To me, she was the one who looks down at the bus driver. Precisely. That is a good point. That is a good point. Why would you, if you bring it up, there's a certain level of emotional intelligence you get into, and you're like, you brought it up. You highlighted that. Right? What you focus on expands. That's part of emotional intelligence. Okay, some people call it law of attraction. What you focus on expands regardless of what your intentions are. Your intentions, it doesn't matter. Your intentions in the poto. She brought it up. It's her preference and she's entitled to that. Yeah, the haves and the have-nots, even though I don't like that phrase, but it's what it is. It's what it is, right? You know, but I don't know. If there's a better way to say those things, I'm open to it, because the last thing I want to do is be offensive, right? But yeah, that's that. If we find other topics around that, we'll cover it again. But I think I spent enough time on that for now, at least. Can't promise we won't bring it up again if I find something interesting.